Hello. I'm doing a retake of that for those of you that were listening, if you're wondering what's going on. I just realized it was like 36 minutes, and I really didn't want to do that long of a talk. So I'm so aware of people's time. And so I'm doing this one again because I'm going to try it and try to get it into like a 10-minute talk. We'll see if I can do it. So and again, this is for use later. So if you're on now, that's fantastic. And hopefully you can get, a message that speaks to your heart. And what occurred to me to share is what I shared at the end of the last video, which was about how this inner trio connection, which is a course I'm teaching starting on October the 21st, I think. It's 6 Monday mornings from 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 Pacific time. And I want to share how it could benefit you. Like, why would you take a course like this? And what does it mean to you? Because it's a little bit abstract, I guess people might think, for it's not as concrete as like make 6 figures, or find your soulmate, or find your soul purpose. It's a little less concrete. This is more of a support tool that I'm teaching. But what occurs to me is the benefit, particularly in these times that we're experiencing right now, which are unsettling, to say the least. There's a lot of meanness out in the world. And to me, the meanness, the cruelty, the arguing, the defensiveness, the narcissism, like all of that comes from being disconnected. And it comes from living here, up here, thinking this is who you are. And in my experience, we are so much more than the logical, supposedly rational mind. And when you don't address your emotions, they come out as attack thoughts. They come out as defense mechanisms. They come out as judgment and criticism. So why there's value in learning the mind-heart-soul connection is it will help you become more balanced. It will also help you know how to process and respond to what's going on around you. And so I just feel in a lot of ways what's evidence in the world right now, or what we're witnessing, is a lot of robotic, automatic, mechanical, almost like zombies, and they're living from the mental mind. They're not embodied in their physical body. They're not attuned to their emotional realm, because if you were attuned to your emotional realm, you would feel the pain of the world. You would look at homelessness and you would be in despair, and you would want to act, or you would send light. You would want to bring compassion. You wouldn't be judging them and saying how they're ruining your city. That is really coming from here. That is coming from a total disconnect. I imagine, one of the parts we work with is the inner child. And so because I have a lot of experience with the child self, hi Sheila, hi Todd, because I have a lot of experience with the child, I want you to, if you walked around with a 5-year-old through a homeless area, the child would not be saying, oh, those people need to get a job. These people are disgusting. They're ruining our neighborhood. They would probably look to the mom and say, Mommy, why is that man sleeping on the street? Mommy, why is that lady dirty? Is the doggy going to be okay that's with them? Because that's our true nature, is compassionate. We're caring. We're curious. We're not judgmental. That is all comes from the ego, which it gets overdeveloped, and the mind. And so one of the things I share is that in our culture, we're very focused on the physical body because we can see that. So we work out or eat healthy, get on diets like keto and all that stuff, right? Because we want to look good. And, or we don't, but our physical body is very obvious. And then there's the mind, or the mental intellect, which people, we read books, we take classes, we watch videos, we, learn things, we observe, and that's a lot through the mind. But the two areas that are neglected most in our society, at least in the Western world, are the spiritual self, which to me is the soul, or the higher self, or even the authentic self, I would call it, the true self. And then the inner child, which I relate to the emotions or the heart. So that's why this course I'm teaching is called the Mind-Heart-Soul Connection. It is really going beyond the mind, which is overdeveloped, and helping us bring more insight and awareness and awakening to the heart, which is the feeler in us, the emotional, the empathic side. And I do think we all have that. It just may be really covered up in some because emotions have been feminized and therefore demonized in our culture. Like you have to hold it together and not show emotion as if that's a valuable skill. By the way, I've read somewhere that the number one problem for executives in business is the lack of empathy. And if they don't have empathy, they're going to be terrible managers of people because we're people. And so the way we relate is through our emotions. And the way we connect is through that. And that's really important. And if you don't have an emotional connection inside, or if you're not familiar with your emotional territory, it will take you down. If you're just living from the mind, which is very ambitious, very competitive, very goal-oriented, can be very mechanical and robotic, it's dangerous. So this developing your own relationship with your emotions, and I call it the inner child or the heart, is a very powerful tool. And then the other one is the higher self, which is your inner wisdom, the guidance that you have, this soul that's been with you through many lifetimes. And I have been doing this practice for on and off for about 9 years. It's very powerful. I've never met a challenge that I couldn't take into the trio conversation and find resolution for and find support for and find comfort for. So that's what I teach. In the 6 weeks, we do something called SelfCare Charts, where we work something on each of the 4 levels: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. You can also do, if you already have a practice that you do, maybe you go to the gym 3 times a week, maybe you do your vitamins daily, things like that, have a celery drink in the morning, whatever, you can put that on your list. So it's not like you have to create all these new habits, but there will be something in the emotional level, which most people don't have, but it could be a gratitude journal. It could be, this week we had to write a love letter to our inner child. The spiritual level could be meditation, it could be chanting, it could be doing the trio process. So the 2 requirements in the course are doing the self-care practice and also doing the trio practice. And I teach you how to do that. It's a very simple process that basically you are you're speaking out loud in 3 different chairs to the 3 parts of yourself. Or if you're a writer, you can do it in a writing practice. It's a very powerful tool, and the homework and the group really support each other in doing the practice. I'm so excited to teach it. It's a beautiful, beautiful class. Each week has a new tool that's introduced, and it's stuff that you can use forever. And it works. And it works in particular with what's happening in the world and the feeling of overwhelm and the scariness, the fear that the child can feel and bring into your energy field, because it looks around and it gets scared seeing what's going on or hearing the news or things like that. When you really start cultivating this technique, what happens is the 3 of you become, I call it the Holy Trinity, actually. It is the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, if you look at it, or the Daughter, Mother, Holy Spirit, right? Because it's the child, and that would be the past, and then it's the present self, or the personality, 53-year-old Terry Joe, right? That's learned all these things on planet Earth. But then it's the soul, the overarching soul that holds all of it together and knows everything is going to be okay, and knows that not one soul will be lost. It's just such a beautiful, comforting experience to start developing this relationship and communing and communicating with it. And you'll find out you have this powerful source of wisdom inside of you, the same one that can give other people advice in a tricky situation, and you all of a sudden you know what to say in certain things. If you have children, there's times where your children are going through crisis and you know how to support them. You have that inside of yourself to support yourself. I remember teaching the higher self practice to teens in a seminar that I did. And that was what they, like, the kids were saying, like, oh my God, I give kids advice all the time, and I think it's pretty cool advice. And I didn't know I could do that with myself. And I'm like, yes, you can do that with yourself if you actively cultivate the practice. And it's not, people will say, well, I do that all the time in my head. I'm like, no, no, no. This is so powerful to take it out of your head and put it into verbal dialogue and or written dialogue and trialogue, I like to call it. So that's what the practice is. It will help you in the world. It's starting October 21st. It's 6 Mondays. It includes a private coaching session with me and a Facebook group. And we will do things like tracking what our self-care is weekly, and you can change that. Of course, it's your self-care, so you design it. And then we'll learn other tools and techniques like affirmations and bedtime intentions and free-form writing and a best moments practice where we go through and find the best moments of our life. And there's a whole beautiful meditation that you can do with that. Oh my gosh, so many things. It's on Zoom. It's video. I'm doing it in the morning because there were a lot of people that said they had kids and they couldn't do it at night because of the kid routine. So 9:30 to 10:30 Pacific time, Monday mornings, 6 Monday mornings. It's recorded if you have to miss a class. And it's only $189 if you sign up by next week. And that's a great price. It's a beta class, so I'm testing it out, although you'll be the second test class because I'm testing it with the night class and we're in week 3 and it's awesome. We're loving it. It's such a beautiful way to share and commune and dive deep into our own beautiful heart, soul, and mind. So that's all I want to share because I want to keep this short. I love you all, and I hope to see you in class. Please email me, private message me, text me, whatever, if you have any questions, if you're thinking about it. I want to support you in whatever's best for you, highest and best. Okay? All right. Be blessed and know you're the blessing. Bye.